breakfast? Come and get it with Peter Russell-Clarke.
Now, Peter Russell-Clarke, how are you, sir?
Peter Russell Puff, how are you?
Would you prefer to be called that?
Well, I have been called that and other things, mind you, but I don't know with what seriousness, I'm thankful to say.
Your name really, I mean, with a double-barreled surname, you really lend yourself to parody, I think.
Even without that.
Yes, we've seen the pants that you wear, and we love them, I must say. Now, this morning you were talking sauce.
Is that under my kilt or above my kilt?
It's always above the kilt on this particular show. Actually, it's not. We're talking sauce this morning, Peter.
Well, yeah, I thought often people think sauces are very difficult things to make, and they either run out and buy a sauce already made by Mr. Kraft or somebody else and just slosh it on the plate and pop some food beside it. And I think that's wrong, because most of those sort of sauces you buy are full of all the bad things that you don't want to eat. They make your turds dry and all that sort of business. So you've got to be very, very careful. I thought an easy sauce to make was if you got a tin of tuna. You know, we did that salad a couple of weeks ago.
That was a bloody great salad.
That was delicious. And Lisa McCune didn't even get to taste it.
And I remember the comments that were made, fuck Lisa McCune. Let her get her own fucking salad. I thought that was very, very funny, and I'm glad I didn't say it.
Yeah, I'm glad Lindsay said it. It was very rude.
Remember we said let's not chuck out the oil from the tuna. Well, the same sort of thing with making a sauce. If we get a tin of tuna and we empty the tuna flesh into a blender and then put about half the oil in with that and blend that up with about the same amount of cream, or enough cream to make it just smooth. If you just blend that in the blender, it sounds terribly simple, but it's one of the classic sauces that the Italian makes. Mind you, the Italians can't do anything terribly complicated. It's either squash tomatoes or this. So you've got tuna, half the oil in it, or you can put 3/4 of the oil, it doesn't matter much, and then shove in some cream and just blend it. It sounds very simple, but it's absolutely delicious with asparagus, which we're going to speak of in our next show. Asparagus is sort of the appendage from the man from Mars.
All right, well, let's come back after a couple of songs and talk about the asparagus on Triple J.
Do I have to sing too?
Yeah.
Robbie and the Doctor on Triple J.
Just before we were talking about your delicious tuna...
Just before what?
Tuna sauce. Before those songs, we were talking about your delicious tuna sauce.
What did you think of the songs?
Gosh, I loved them.
I thought they were very good
What's
too.
your favourite music?
I like Velia, The Witch of the Wood, and I can't think of much more beyond that.
Okay, are you somebody who likes to have the stereo cranked while you're doing your cooking?
What are you doing while you're cranking yourself when you're listening to music?
Yeah, well, why not?
Come on. Not me.
Oh, Peter. Do you like to have loud music playing while you're doing your cooking?
No, I don't. I listen to classical music like Old Man Duff was a doggone tough, they called him Dynamite.
That is a classic.
Mattressville, that sort of stuff.
Do you listen to... do you employ music in the boudoir, Peter?
Only the noises I make, which is music to my ears, which are many and varied.
Anyway, speaking of the boudoir, you're going to talk us through asparagus.
Asparagus. Well, I think asparagus is one of the great vegetables. It's got a root 20 foot long, which makes me very envious.
It makes your wee smell as well, doesn't it?
It does, and that's because of the sulphur in it. And the vitamins in asparagus are water-soluble. And so once you consume the asparagus, if you don't chew it, it slips straight out in its same form. Or if you do chew it, the liquid comes out your doodle, and that smells like asparagus.
So what happens?
Very sulphur.
What happens to Marique?
Well, Marique gets more excited than you and I. It was said that it was an aphrodisiac. I'm not quite sure what they did with it to make them think it was an aphrodisiac. Whether it was just eating or other things, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, the drama with asparagus is that people overcook it. What you should do is grasp it by the knob, the end bit, whatever that's called, and the other end. So you've got your fingers at each end, and you just bend it, and it will snap where God decided that the woody part stops. You understand what I'm saying? You just bend the asparagus, it snaps, put the woody part aside, and the other bit with the knob on the end you put into very warm water. You don't put oil or anything in it, just the asparagus and the water, and you cook that for no more than about a quarter to half a minute.
Really?
So it's still quite crunchy. So by the time you take it out of the water and put it beside a poached egg, which you've also brilliantly cooked, that will be perfect. It'll just continue to cook while you've taken it out of the pan. Now, if you then put your tuna sauce beside the poached egg and the asparagus, that tuna sauce we said you made with the cream, you've actually got a ripper U-Butte fucking delicious bonza meal. Bloody oath, cobber.
Which you can serve to your missus in bed.
Yeah, well, I did a meal for Prince Charles and Diane. He wanted to serve her a meal in bed, and look what it did to her.
We don't blame you for that,
No,
Peter
we don't.
Russell-Clarke.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
And thank you for your confidence.
We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Suck me dead. Did we do well today? I enjoyed it.
Oh,
We did
you're a bloody
very well.
champion.
Thank you.
Peter,
God
thank you,
bless you.
mate. Good on you. We'll speak to you soon.